Welcome to Good Chats. Thank you to everybody who's joined us already in the lively chat room. We got JK, we got Shane Oace, we got Daryl Phillips, we got Pete Donaldson, we got Plain Train Guy, we got who's just joined us, Steve Klink. Thanks for joining us again, mate. O'Malley, Tours, welcome aboard, and Ariel. Hopefully I'm suitably positioned this evening to not set off anyone's OCD. So welcome to Good Chats. For those of you who don't know, this is just a random chat live stream, mainly about railway history, but about a whole bunch of other media-related stuff as well, about YouTube channels. And sometimes it's even about wooden chainsaw carvings on people's fences near Kangarilla. Sometimes it's even about rock art as well, and I've got a bit of a story about that. As usual, tell us what's new with you this week, what's been happening in your world. It sounds a bit cliched, but is there anything you've read that sounded interesting that you want to bring to the chat tonight? And we can talk about, or what's been happening, what videos have you been making, what videos have you been watching, what would you recommend? What's new? You would have seen the Minato. I'll take his hat off, man. It's hot in here tonight. You were seeing that I did the Minato bridges on the old Minato railway line, and I did do the Minato to Sudan railway line in a video a long time ago. And I had an older drone at that point in time that I didn't really know how to use, so I thought I'd go back and have another shot at it now that I know how to use a drone, and I was really pleased with the results on that one. There's also the great train robberies of the Ghan as well, and Daryl sent me some really interesting reference material on that, which made great reading, and I love reading kind of stuff like that. I'd like to try and turn it into a story at some stage, and I think what I just said there sums it up. It takes me a lot of time to soak in what's happening and then come up with an idea and then put it back out there. But for me to do a video, I'd love to do a video on the great train robberies of the Ghan. And when I finally do get to the old narrow gauge GAN line, I've filed what you sent me, Daryl, because it'll make excellent background material. And also, you would have seen my short, or maybe you haven't seen my short, about Bear Rock, which is a rock outcrop in the hills just above Palmer, near Adelaide here. Then we're going to do Book of the Week, of course, and I've got some stickers that I want to talk about as well right here, so we'll talk about that too. My list of trips just keeps growing. I got an email today from John Kasnick, I think it is. And thanks for all these emails too, Daryl, you too. Thanks for sending these through, guys. You can find my email address either when you click on the little button that shows email address on my profile here on YouTube, or you can go to my website, outdoorstype.com.au, click the contact and send me a web form there. My email address is mikeyg at outdoorstype.com.au. So always feel free to send stuff through there. G'day, Graham. Yes, you are here. Thank you. Welcome aboard. The list of trips just keeps growing because John sent me through some interesting information about the Radium Hill branch line from Kitana off the current Broken Hill line. And I did show a little bit of video in that, and I'm interested to go and see more. And what I love about this network of people that I get to ask questions of and learn so much more from, I might actually be able to get access to Radium Hill, which is very much private property. But this is how it works. These things take time, and like a lot of things in life, it's not what you know, it's who you know. And so this whole outdoors type Good Chats experience has been excellent for that. I've learned so much from all of you, and hopefully you guys are learning a bit as well, folks. So that's great. This list just keeps growing, and I'm going to need a bigger calendar to try and calendarize them all and figure out just how I'm going to get them done in the next 12 to 18 months, keep things timely and keep things moving. But that's going to need a giant wall calendar, I think. And I definitely need to talk to people about collaborating and sharing costs with some of these trips as well, because I'm going to start going further afield. I think like Andy Munro, who may or may not be here tonight, with his footy jumper trips and footy ground trips. And I think O'Malley too, you sort of start to run out of things that are within easy reach, and you need to start pushing things a little bit further, and that gets expensive. Also want to talk a little bit about the Dry Creek line. That's one I've got, not Dry Creek line, but the Dry Creek Explosives Tramways. That's a really interesting story. It's an oval. Well, let's figure it out. I'll talk to my contact, and we'll see if we can tee up a trip, because Radium Hill is very, very much private property these days, and it's not the sort of video that just anyone can make. So it'd be a real privilege for me to get access to that kind of thing. Dry Creek, that'd be a great thing to collaborate on. And I'll tell you how much I made in the first week of being monetized, so to speak, on YouTube. And then, I mentioned Book of the Week. So let's get on with it. So I'm going to play that Monarto to Sedan, or not Monarto to Sedan video, but the Salt Creek and Reedy Creek bridges. And I'll tell the live stream audience. G'day, Andy. Welcome aboard. Thanks for coming along. Not sure whether you heard me mention that conundrum, and I think you were mentioning that you were having about needing to take longer and longer trips to go chase your passion. That's the way it is. The explosive siding is Foamer's Corner now. Yes, because that's exactly the road where the old tramway went out and headed past a place called the Islington Sewage Works. Fun side fact, right? Some of the research I was doing on the area mentioned that the Islington Sewage Works were right next door. And Adelaide locals will know this place now as Sunny Bray Farm, down in Regency Park. And I was always kind of wondering why the Sunny Bray Farm was here. Turns out it was the main sewage works for Adelaide until 1950, and the sewage works were pretty disgusting back then. So, Sunny Bray Farm will never be the same for me. Interesting side fact. Okay, now we're going to bring up that video too to talk about JK, I'm booked to go see the Sleeps Hill Tunnel show. I think on the 22nd of March. Oh, I've forgotten now. I think it's 15th of March or something like that, a Saturday. So we are going to go see that, and that will be interesting. Trust me, I will share it with y'all. So we're going to go to the old share Chrome, and something's going on with my window size there. Sorry, old man stares at computer again, and we'll transition over to that. Turn the sound on and press play. He got married at Sonny Bray. Well, okay, well that's just fixed it for me. That just redeemed it. And cheers to whatever anniversary it is this year, O'Malley. Have you checked it out, Pete? I'm looking forward to going to see it. I was going to say this earlier about this video too. I didn't actually shoot most of this video. I actually just launched the drone, put the drone up in the air, selected the bridges as a target, and set the drone to what's called master shot mode. And then I just put the two shots together. So I was actually not flying the drone. I was really just supervising things on this video. Literally do not have enough fingers or enough hands to be able to do all the things that the drone now does in this master shot mode, where it might be zooming, yawing, and rising or falling all at the same time. It's doing things that you just don't have enough coordination as humans to be able to do. So it turns out some really cool shots. I'm a bit annoyed that it only turns out 1080p shots, given the camera's capable of 4K, and I can tell the difference. Don't know about you, but I really wish it had that 4K resolution. That'd be a cool video to see, actually. There's a lot more rail remaining along this line than people would think. Obviously the rail remains all the way to Apamara, and if you watch my Monado sedan line, I visited Apamara and we saw the end of the line in that one, but that's what makes it quite unique, is it actually has quite a few kilometres of relatively intact rail still there. New South Wales is alright, JK. I'm originally from New South Wales, so, you know, wouldn't mind living out west in New South Wales, that's for sure. That's a good question, Andy, about where the most intact abandoned rail line might be. I think in South Australia, at least, it's probably a competition. I think, look, it probably depends on when it was abandoned, really, doesn't it? So we'll stop that. Turn that off. Easy enough to stop. I think it depends on the age of the railway line, really. But in my mind, and I think you would probably agree, Andy, it would probably be the longest intact railway line would probably be Mount Gambier. I reckon also the Barossa lines up out the back of Gawler and up to Penrice are all still pretty much there. They've cut the line just north of Tanunda now, but the rest of the railway line and all the infrastructure is probably some of the most intact that I've seen. So we move on to the Sculpture Festival. And I'm not really that into shorts, as I keep saying to you guys, I'm not really very good at shorts. I struggle to fit things into 30 seconds sometimes, which it sounds weird, I know, but yeah, that's just the way I roll. And we'll bring up a short. And also, I find YouTube Shorts feeds a little bit like having a nervous breakdown, because you open up a short, and 10 minutes later you are watching something completely unrelated to what you logged on for, and really has very little relevance, but somehow it's so interesting and you've just lost 10 or 15 minutes of your life. Here we go. Sorry, I didn't know that screen was up as I did this. But there you go, it's happening. Oh, what is it even going on with that window? Yeah, right, okay. Fixed it. It's in the middle now. Oh, and a small pro tip for these videos as well. So I make these videos in portrait mode, whether it be on the Pocket 2 or whether it be on the drone now, which has portrait mode. And then I will make it in Premiere Pro, and I will just simply time shots to be every 4, 8, 16 seconds, that kind of thing. Now that's just repeating all the time. Oh, that's because I didn't have the music on. There you go. Duh. G'day, Kane. I was just right after I didn't put the sound on this video, which is lucky because I was just about to share the pro tip of how to put copyright sound onto your shorts. And I can use the drone or whatever, and I edit the portrait video in Premiere Pro, and I'll time it to every 4, 8, 16 seconds. And then I'll load it onto my phone. Then I'll load it via USB cable or email or whatever to my phone, and then I'll upload it as a short from there, because you can only use 60 seconds of copyright music in shorts. I couldn't actually get away with using Pink Floyd in my other YouTube videos, because that would get copyrighted the hell out of. So let's change back to that. Let's do it properly this time. Okay, that's really interesting, Pete. And an ad came up. So you would well know that I'm testing ads at the moment, and I will take them off if they become an issue. Yeah, please always give me the feedback, because YouTube drops these ads in at random, and they drop in at random at different times for different people. I can choose to put ads on, while I take a break or something like that. I'm not sure that's necessarily the way I want to go. I think I actually just want to keep things the way they are. So if ads do get in the way, please don't be shy. I am definitely just testing this and wanting feedback, and I'm not wedded to ads at all. I have a real job, so I'm not, really worried about earning my income. That's good, Daryl. I recommend everyone get YouTube Premium, and that's not just because I'm trying to be a salesperson for it. It's because I've had YouTube Premium for years and I've never looked back, right? I'm just like, whatever. I mean, they deserve a bit of money for it. And that way I've never seen a YouTube ad for years either. So I really don't know what the effect is on people sometimes. I'm not part of that ad thing. So when I use a work account or I use other accounts that I access YouTube through, and all of a sudden I'm skipping an ad and I'm like, what the hell is this? So I appreciate, and I'm very sensitive to the experience of ads for people on YouTube, particularly because, I'm not George Lucas or anything, right? So I don't expect people to sit through ads to watch the content. So if that ever becomes an issue, please just let me know. But hey, a few side dollars here and there, that's not bad either. That's probably a good opportunity to segue into maybe what I was going to do last, but I'll do it now. So I've made $8 out of YouTube this week, and plus the excellent super chats that a couple of people chipped in last week for $3 or whatever. So I'm just over $10, which woohoo! It means like next time I'm past Old Talem Town, I'm going to replace my broken coffee mug. So YouTube's paid to replace the broken coffee mug so far. Catch behind that is that I've got my payment threshold set at $100, so it's going to be a while before you see any cash. But that's just the way. That's just the way the writing world works. I have had Google Ads before for many years on my website, and I was earning more money than that just off the website with far less content. And freelance writing as well, I did for a couple of years, and I was earning a bit of money off that, a lot more than YouTube. YouTube is a really, really high bar to entry when it comes to monetizing your content on the internet. Oh, shit, Graham, yeah, look at that. Okay, all right, yep, I get it. I get it. Yeah, it's been in here for a few days and it's been really hot. So thank you for mentioning it, Graham. I really appreciate it. I'm going to go and cut those. There's one there. There's one there that's gone a bit yellow. And there's one there. But since I've had it outside, it's been doing really, really well. So there's a lot of new growth on it. But yeah, Kane, definitely. The Facebook, I don't know much about Facebook monetization. I do a lot of work on Facebook. And maybe in some ways I chose the wrong platform. But Facebook comes with a lot of other caveats, I guess. So yeah, I'm working away on YouTube, which is the best job that I ever had to pay for. And it's difficult to work across multiple platforms. So yeah, we'll see. Maybe once I've got this YouTube thing under control. But that'll take me back to the calendarizing the trips, and the list keeps growing. Last week I had 19. I read the list and I had 19 trips on the list. And other people have been getting in touch with me. Other ideas have been coming up. Now I'm up to 22, and God knows by week 71 of Good Chats or whatever, I'll be up to 30 videos. And I'm like, when am I ever going to find the time to do these 30 videos? And that's why I really would like to talk to people about collaborations, where in the future perhaps we can meet up or organize or share costs on trips to create multiple kinds of content. Thanks, Kane. Yeah, I appreciate it. And I have no doubt I'd be doing the same if I put the same amount of effort into Facebook. But Facebook is actually a fairly tough nut to crack. $1 to $2 per Facebook reel. That's pretty cool. That is really cool. Again, it's the kind of money where we've all got to have real jobs, but I think most people who call themselves writers or artists will tell you that is that you actually need to have a real job in the meantime. But it's so gratifying to be having this this artistic sort of expression in the background that ticks away, making a little bit of money here and there. And when we and remember when people talk about overnight successes. So when people are talking about this footy jumper project on Channel 10, for example, and they'll be like, Andy Munro's overnight success project, and we'll all be like, nah, man, he's been working at that for years, and good on him too. And that's where we're all at, I think, with our projects at the moment. We do it because we love it. And overnight success takes a long time to get to. But anyway, that's enough sermonizing from me. Maybe one of the things I'm going to do is sell stickers, because Outdoors Talk to me has always been a wider brand, right? And I use it as my brand for graphic design, for visual design, for writing, for photography, all that kind of stuff. It kind of covers my freelance bits and pieces as well. I ended up making some stickers, and I've got a really long story behind the mountain that's featured in these. I just found these the other day. They've been in my cupboard for ages. What do you guys think? Should I make another batch of these outdoors type stickers? That's my little stylized Sumi Air effect or Sumi E effect mountain graphic that I've chosen as my logo for outdoors type. Maybe it needs words on the stickers. It did originally have words on the logo, but my philosophy is that it's not a logo if it needs too many words. So I can produce more of these stickers, and I can work out a way to maybe put them up on the YouTube channel. If you like, in the meantime, though, I've got a sheet of these stickers. I've got one, or maybe I've got more. I don't know, but send me your address by email, right? I'm going to keep one of these stickers, right, because I don't have any anymore, and I'll send the other 5 out if you chuck your address in an email to me, and I will pop them. I will pop one of these stickers in the post to the first 5 people, right? And then maybe that'll be a cool project, and then you can send us back a photo of where you've stuck it to. And then, based on that, I might go ahead and get another run of these stickers printed, and I can experiment with popping them into a YouTube store. How cool would that be? Having my own little YouTube store after all these years. What was I going to talk about next? We've talked about Radium Hill. We've talked about John giving me the maybe the lowdown on getting access to there. Then we looked at the Sedan Railways, and we talked about the Sculpture Festival. Oh, that's right. I might need to add words like "this is a mountain," but you know what? I think maybe I'm doing logos wrong if I need words to explain what the logo is. But yeah, I will work on that. We'll send these ones out because they will be a collector's item one of these days. I think maybe if you just send enough of them out, people will work out what it is. I don't like logos that just really just say what it is. I do this a lot on my YouTube videos, and you'll see as I look back, and I try not to do it no matter how much I do it. I still do it. But, you know, having the same words in the thumbnail as you do in the title. So it's kind of like saying the same thing twice, and it's like, why? So yeah, I am hoping to just get that kind of logo recognition from it. So we'll see how we go. Yeah, that could be a good idea. That's probably a good idea. That would actually be a really good way to explain what it is. So maybe it would be just down underneath, and most people wouldn't really read it. They'd probably just see the www and understand that that's what it is. So that's a cool idea. I really like that. Thanks, JK. Now, where were we going to get to? We talked about Radium Hill. I was going to talk about the Dry Creek as well. Now, I'm thinking of booking a kayak tour from Garden Island. They cost about $70, and I'm thinking of booking a kayak tour from Garden Island, and we can head up Broad Creek to the end of Broad Creek, where there's still some rails and some sleepers, last time I saw, remaining at the top end of Broad Creek from the old Dry Creek tramways. And that's definitely on the plan, on the cards for the next couple of months. I'm going to do it anyway, one way or the other, but really love it if somebody wants to jump on board and say, hey, let's do, I'll come along one Sunday. Definitely going to be one Sunday morning in the next 2 or 3 months, and meet down at Garden Island and get a kayak tour over to Broad Creek and check all that stuff out, because you just can't get to it any other way. I will send details through once I speak to the Garden Island kayak tours people. I will pop it up perhaps as a community post, and we'll see if we can work something out in months to come. These things, I do know we're all busy people and takes a lot of planning to make it happen. So I'll start feeding some information through on that one. Because of the expressway, and even before the expressway, it's a very difficult place to get to, and the only way you can get to there is by boat. Shit, there goes the one of my lights. That's not coming back anytime soon, I don't think. Oh, that's a really horrible blue light. Okay. Well, we'll see how long that lasts. There you go. I didn't bother to check how much charge the light had in it from last time. So that's cool. We're covering a lot of stuff tonight. Now, book of the week. What did I have for book of the week? Um, Okay, so this is a cool, timely one. And I was wondering what that one was. Now we're in fringe time, and I'm going to head up to the Palmer Sculpture Biennial when it starts in 3 weeks' time. Fun fact, the reason why I did those railway bridge videos and why I did Bear Rock as a video is because I actually went up to have a bit of a recon around the site of the Palmer Sculpture Biennial. And there goes the light again. Whoops. And it turns out it doesn't start until mid-March. So I was 3 weeks early, and I had to go find something else. What's really interesting, though, is this area around Palmer, the heights between Palmer and Tunkillo. These rocks, where Bear Rock is, has been an area that's been graffitied and been painted on, and rocks have been painted to look like things for the whole time I've lived in South Australia anyway. I remember back in the early 90s. When we would go driving through this area, and we'd go fishing a lot up at Mannum or areas around Mannum up from Adelaide. And Bear Rock wasn't actually painted at that point in time. Bear Rock was not the main attraction. Bit further west from that was something called Elephant Rock, and it was painted as like one of those elephants from in the sort of style of Yellow Submarine, Beatles' Yellow Submarine, that really trippy style. And that was called Elephant Rock. And all of those rocks were covered in various bits of graffiti and daubed with Shano for Karen, and Palmer Demons Footy Club Premiers 1995 or something like that. Like everything was just covered in it up there, and that graffiti's actually seemed to slow down a little bit. And Bear Rock was actually bare. That's boom tish. I just got it. And it always looked like a bear too. That's the other thing. It was kind of always called Bear Rock by the people who knew. Gap Road north of the sculptures. I haven't done that road yet, and when I was up there the other day, and obviously nothing was happening, and I did actually wonder what would happen if I drove further north along that road and through those valleys, I guess, gullies, and up through the gaps there. Definitely reminiscent of the Flinders Ranges, and that's why the Palmer Sculpture Biennial has always been very intriguing to me, those hills, particularly around Palmer, and the work that the owner of the land has done in the last however many years. It's just a perfect place to put these sculptures. And so you've got both, the land being sculpted, and then you've got man-made sculptures coming into it as well that mean a lot. And I actually think that Bear Rock and this area around Palmer should actually become an adjunct to the experience, because the art that's been done around Palmer and Bear Rock is very much a community, very much an organic thing. It's not confected at all or contrived in some ways like the Palmer Sculpture Biennial is. And I think that's really, really interesting. I have seen the animals by Mount Pleasant Oval. They're wooden animals, I think, actually, now you mention it. Rachin's Gap on Gap Road. You know what? Fun fact. I reckon that was actually probably considered for a way to get the railway through the Adelaide Hills at one stage. There was gaps near Palmer and Sanderston, I think, that were considered as alternative, and going up the Torrens Valley, up to Mount Pleasant, Birdwood, all of that, and out through one of these gaps as an alternative way to get Adelaide connected by rail with the eastern side of the country. And it turns out they chose what's probably one of the most difficult routes they could have ever possibly have chosen, and that was the one that we have today, the Hills Line. But yeah, we're going thinking of going out north, and from time to time they do still think of driving a line through there to bypass the hills and drive a second railway through there. But amazing territory out that, and you've just cost me an extra few hours of exploring next time I'm out there. I will be out there on the weekend of the 16th and 17th of March when it does start to get a bit of a start. And I hope to make some kind of drone videos and sunrise and sunset videos of some of those sculptures that are just so iconic. So, God, that was a long way around to Book of the Week. So Book of the Week is the handbook to the Palmer Sculpture Biennial in 2022. This is a book that's worth $10, right? The cover is made from heavyweight textured paper. It's printed on. It's all really, really considered. And so when you hold it in your hands, it actually feels like an adjunct. I just use that word a lot in one presentation to the sculptures that you're looking at. And these guys who did this are totally come from my school of graphic design. Just simple considered text, paragraphs, different sizes, different fonts, but they all merge together. There's been a lot of thought put into just simple text here on the front page, which is interesting for something that's visually based, right? And again, they talk about the COVID pandemic and all that sort of stuff. And then front up in there as well, without annoying people, they mention all the contributing artists, not at the back, but at the front. And then they get into it. And they keep it all black and white as well. Obviously, these sculptures exist in the real world, and obviously these guys can go and get color photos of them, right? This is just a graphic of the design. No, if you go back through my channel history, and you'll see the Palmer Sculpture Biennial, and you'll see this stainless steel sculpture, and this is just the plan for it. When you see the real thing, it's mind-bending. And sketches. And another different style of sketches. And it's totally different when you go and see the real thing out there in the real world. So they're not giving away the real sculptures or the reality of what's happening out there. They're giving you a real background and giving you a different visual way to appreciate it. So you can come at it from a different point of view. So that is the Palmer Sculpture Biennial 2022 booklet, which I am so pleased to be alive for and having the opportunity to go back to again in 2024 and hopefully explore a lot more. I don't know whether you can see that properly, but that's kind of the legend you get handed on arrival if you don't pay the $10. But there's a lot going on there out on those hills, and it's amazing. And again, like the Sleeps Hill Tunnel, as Pete quite rightly, I think, recommended to everybody. I haven't been, but I recommend it to everybody as well. I will be going at some stage in the next couple of weeks. I'm booked for it. There is a sculpture park somewhere near Broken Hill as well. Yeah, absolutely. I didn't have enough time last time I was in Broken Hill, but maybe when I go back to do what I'm going to call the Return to Radium Hill video, hopefully, if I can get access to that kind of thing, we'll team that up with a visit to Peterborough and the Radium Hill Museum there. G'day, hunters. Welcome aboard. Thanks for coming. Now we're at 8:53, and we have run through everything I've got to talk about this week. So if you guys have got anything else you want to talk about, you want to chuck in at the last minute, hunters, can't cover it all, go back and check out the replay, mate. But thanks for jumping on board. Really appreciate it. Yeah, there's diverting the train line from Monada out to Palmer, then around to the back of Gawler. Yeah, I reckon the Liberals, a couple of, I think even the last Liberal government possibly looked at doing that. So yeah. Do I have any trips planned at the moment? Do I have any trips planned at the moment? No, I've actually run out of trips for now. My next video is probably going to be based around Dry Creek or around Elizabeth, around the GMH Holden sightings there. So probably the next trip will be down to the Railway Museum to have a rummage through the collections there. Where's Dawson Oval? Where's Dawson? Right off the top of my head, I can't think of where Dawson is. It's probably one of those dots on the map. My next trip might be to Borough and Peterborough to just start scouting around there for a new version of a Roseworthy to Peterborough video, and I'm also planning to do the Pitchy Richie in July. So I am going to probably do 3, 4, 5 trips up to Pitchy Richie over June and July to capture that railway line experience in the same way as I did the Steam Ranger experience last year. Dawson's between Peterborough and Udalawira. Oh, okay, cool. All right. I have a feeling I know where Dawson is now. It's not on the highway anymore. It's kind of off the highway a bit, which makes it pretty bloody remote. Yes, I hope the Holden videos are interesting. There is very little available publicly. So, like I said, I'm looking forward to having a bit of a rummage and having a bit of a chat more to the photo team down at the National Railway Museum and see what we can get. Oh, that leads me to another question I have to ask everybody as well. I'm just going to bring up that channel again that John, who mentioned about Radium Hill, linked me to this channel. Okay, South Australian Steam Locomotives is the YouTube channel. If any of you guys know who another Andy is apparently behind this channel, and those of you who follow railway history videos will know South Australian Steam Locomotives, prolific channel, got awesome old video footage of steam trains and diesel trains from 50s, 60s, black and white, but they're always with no audio. And that's always described in the caption, right? There's no audio to these videos. So that if anybody knows this guy between South Australian Railway Locomotives, these videos are amazing, right? They're basically what I do, except whoever took these videos was there when the trains were. And I've reached out via YouTube to this person's contact details and haven't been able to get in touch. So if anybody knows who's behind that South Australian Railway Locomotives YouTube channel, shoot me a message or shoot me an email or whatever on Facebook or whatever. I would, those videos are amazing. And I would love to use parts of them if possible, or perhaps build something different with excerpts from those videos. And obviously I would only do that with permission from the creator. Like I said, we always just want to build upon each other's work rather than ever kind of build any credibility from something that we never made. Plant nerd guy, plane train guy, who knows? A lot of housing going up. Plant nerd guy on the ammo storage huts are looking like its last days. I have been up, Plant nerd guy. That's really interesting. I've been up there a few times, and I've kind of gone, oh, yep, I would love to make a video about that. So yeah, looking at that area there, there's literally only that one ammo shed left, and I don't feel like I can. I don't feel like I can actually really do too much of a video on that one. It's going to take a lot of research and a lot of finding old imagery, and again, that getting past that copyright thing where I won't use other people's photos or videos without getting direct permission from them. So it's difficult. I won't complain about it, Plant Nerd Guy, but no, it's really interesting. I do want to do that one, but there's just so little remaining. Having said that, I do walk through housing estates pretending that there's still a railway line there. So maybe, the longer I wait, the worse it gets. Um, yeah, and I think maybe they might be keeping that one, maybe just as a bit of a historical thing in a park. I don't know. Filming Steam Ranger in black and white. Yeah, that's really, really interesting. Do a train chase in just pure black and white. Now, there's a difference between just changing video that you've got to black and white and actually filming for black and white. So that's an important distinction that you've raised there. Researching former schools in the area. You know what? I kind of don't really have much of an idea on that. I just find that when I start approaching searches, I can really only scratch the surface for the first few months. It's only once you've been searching for a couple of months that you start to search for slightly different terms, or you come at it from a different way, or you're looking at something that you would think's unrelated, but somehow Google's maybe related it, or another person has related it in a way that you hadn't thought of. I'm not sure of any particular school's resource in the same way that I use, say, Hairy Legs Tracks for Google, right, which traces all the old railway lines. I'm not entirely sure if there's something there for schools as well. I don't know if there's any rail tracks there, but maybe if I go out and do the GMH Holden, which is at Elizabeth, it's not that much further north to go up to Penfield and have a bit of a look around there, I suppose. All right, cool. Well, that's just made the GMH trip a little bit more of a day trip than what it would have been, because honestly, there's only like one or two, it's probably only one piece of rail left of the whole GMH siding. So I'm relying on a bit of research still coming back to me on that one. I did have Smithfield magazines, I think, on my list, because there was a railway line that ran along what is now Wommer Road, pretty much, I think, from Smithfield Station out to where those ammo mounds or ammo huts are now. So yeah, Wommer Road, I'm pretty sure, or Curtis Road maybe, is where the that railway went. Now I can use the drone there. That's fine as long as I'm not directly in the flight path. And I reckon I should be pretty clear to use a sub 250 gram drone there. So yeah. All right, cool. Make sure to check out the replay, hunters. We'll see you around. We are going to go with that's all, folks. Gosh, it's been a 45-minute ride, a little bit longer than that. And I'm going to keep experimenting with starting the chat up a couple of minutes, 10 minutes early to have a bit of a chat. Sometimes I forget to schedule the chat until maybe even 15, 20 minutes beforehand. But if I'm not going to do the chat, you'll hear about it in a community post or something. And it generally means that I'm not actually physically capable of doing it for one reason or another. I've only missed 2 weeks in the last 70 weeks, and that's why we're at week 68. So I want to thank everybody again for coming on board. It's so good to have such a great group of people with different interests, but very similar interests. I know I don't always talk about trains and focus in on trains, or have the same historical research presented for you every week. And it's going to be a little quiet over the next couple of weeks while I collect all of this research that I've sent all of those requests out for. I really want to thank everybody who came on board, particularly Plain Train Guy first. Welcome and thanks for coming. JK, second, thanks for coming. Pete Donaldson, third on board, thank you for coming. Daryl, fourth on board, thanks for coming. And thanks for checking on email that things are still going ahead tonight. And thanks for sending that info on the Garn train robberies. Love it. Shano Ace, man, thank you for coming aboard again. Steve Klink, thank you. Hope you've enjoyed it and you've been hanging around here tonight. O'Malley, always a pleasure, and thank you so much for your input. And I hope you get rich out at Dawson. Have a few beers for us at the Cricket Oval. Make sure to put that on video as well. I'd love to share it. And if you can catch a little bit of the old railway line in the background there, that'd be cool too. Riel, thanks for coming on board too. Really appreciate all of your input. Graham, I am going to go and take the Lily out straight away after this stream, and we will look after it. Andy Munro, always awesome to have your input as well. I think we definitely going to find a collaboration somewhere there between you, me, and O'Malley. I am going to go out and revisit a lot of those Malley lines between Peruna and Renmark. A lot of those Malley lines, the only Malley line between Peruna and Renmark. I think there's a few more stations. I think I missed a few things out there, way out in the middle of bloody nowhere near the border. Kane's Trains, thanks for coming on board as well. Always a pleasure to have such a strong player like yourself on board. I did enjoy watching the incredible updates to remote control train operation these days. It's just ridiculous. Graham, thanks again for heads up on the train. Now, welcome, and again, Hunters, thanks for coming in. Always happy to have such an OG regular like yourself on board. Camping at Caliph. I bet you're looking forward to that. Nice and quiet out that way. I'm going to go and Google that later and go check out what's around Caliph. Make sure you check it up on the video too. So that's all for now. We've gone for about 50 minutes. I really appreciate everybody sticking on board. This has been Good Chats. What we do here is we share information. I learn so much from you guys. We talk about railway history. We talk about all sorts of strange things, but based on that old railway history, I do really appreciate everybody being on board, and I look forward to seeing you all again next week. Till then, peace.